Again, the problem. Suppose a group is interested in determining whether teenagers obtain their driver's licenses at approximately the same average age across the country. Suppose that the following data are randomly selected from or collected from 5 teenagers in each region of the country. The numbers represents the age at which teenagers obtained their driver's licenses. So again, the region is divided into the country is divided into 5 regions: Northeast, South, West, Central, and the East region. Okay? So we'll start from supplying for our steps, no? Every step in our hypothesis testing. Okay, before running the test, running the solution, no, ng one-way ANOVA. So let's start from stating our null hypothesis. Null hypothesis. Okay, anyone from the group who would like to share or to state our null hypothesis? Our null hypothesis starts with there's no significant difference. Okay? There is no significant difference. Okay, yun nga lang, the very difference between the t-test and the one-way ANOVA is that we are trying to compare more than two variables. Okay, more than two variables or cases. So anyone, there's no significant difference in what? Again, here's the problem. There's no significant difference in what? Anyone from the group? Hi, we have Renz.
Try lang po sir. There's
Sure.
no significant difference in the average age of the teenagers who obtain driver license among the group. What?
Diverse license. There's no significant difference in the average age of the teenagers who obtained driver's license.
Among the group.
Driver's license among the group. Or we can just use the same phrase as stated in the given problem, no, across the country. Across the country. And of course, as the researcher, as the tester, we know that across the country means to say that we divided the country into into 5 regions. So gagamitin na lang natin yung across the region na across the region. Ay mali, across the region. Like the country. Country. Okay, so again, there's no significant difference in the average age of the teenagers who obtained driver's license. Let me add there. Obtained their driver's license across the country or among the regions. Pwede rin siya, no? Among the 5 regions. Okay? Next. Alternative. Okay, alternative. Anyone? You just have to negate your null. Anyone? 301. What is our alternative, Elijah?
There is a significant difference in the average age of the teenagers who obtain their driver's license across the country.
Okay, there is a significant difference in the average age of the teenagers who sorry. There should be ed here, obtained their driver's license across the country. Okay. So that settles our hypothesis, the formulation of our null and alternative. We can now move on to the significance level. Significance level, of course, we'll be using, as usual, 5% alpha level of significance. Significance. And from here also, let me look at our example. Degree of freedom and the critical value. So we'll leave this at the moment, no, kasi we have to supply for the table first. Okay? But we already knew that we'll be using the one-way ANOVA. One-way ANOVA. Okay, one-way ANOVA. ANOVA. So we can now run the test. Run the test. So going back to our presentation here, we have actually how many steps? And how many steps? One, two, three, four, four. There are four steps, no? Plus, after accomplishing these steps, we need to accomplish the table, the ANOVA table. Okay? So I'll start from here. Step number one, compute the correction factor. Compute the correction factor, or the CF. The CF is equivalent to the quantity summation of x sub n squared over n. Okay? Summation of x sub n squared over n, where n is of course the total number of samples, and the small n here implies the different groups, no? The different groups in our problem. In this case, we have 5 regions. Okay, 5 regions. Let me copy this in our table. Northeast. Let me use NE for the northeast. We have south. It's south and west, central, and the east. We have 16.3, 16.1, 16.4. Wait lang. But parang kulang yung teenagers natin? Sabi 5, but there are only 4 of them. 5 teenagers in each region. What happened? 5 teenagers in each region. So mag-supply na lang tayo ng isa, one more, no? We have here 16.5. We have 16.0. Okay? The south, we have 16.9, 16.5, 16.4, 16.2, and another 16.0. West, we have 16.4, 16.5, 16.6, 16.1, and then another 16.0, 16.2, 16.6, 16.5, 16.4, 16.0 again. East, we have 17.1, 17.2, 16.6, 16.8, and 16.0. So ito yung dinagdag natin, no? The fifth member, the fifth teenager for each region. They are all 16 years old. So here, uh, we need to square. No, we actually need to square. Where is our first example? Ayan, we need to square each of our entry. Okay, each of our entry. In this case, we need to square the ages of each teenager. Okay. So we have here 16.3 squared. And let me just copy. And 16.9 squared. Copy ulit natin. We have wait. We have 16.4 squared. 16.2 squared. Then we have 17.1. Okay. After squaring, we need to find the summation of all of the column, no? Each column. Okay, this is our raw data and the squared value. We just need to determine the summation. You can do it manually by using your scientific calculator, or if you are using your Excel, then you may use its auto sum feature and auto sum. 18.3, and then drag nyo lang siya so that makopy yung formula, and then that's it. Okay, we now have our table that will be used throughout the solution, no? So throughout running the ANOVA, the one-way ANOVA. Okay, step 1. Step number 1. We are to solve for the CF. 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 CF, again, from our presentation, is actually, where is it? The correction factor. Okay, the correction factor. All you have to do is to get the sum of all the raw, no? The raw ages of the teenagers over kung ilang teenagers yung involved. Okay? The raw ages, not the square. So in this case, we have, where is it? And the summation, we have 81.3. We have 82. I need to enclose this with parentheses. 82 plus 80. 81.6 plus 81.7 plus 83.7. I divided by how many teenagers were involved, guys?
5 po.
5 each region. How many regions do we have?
5. Bale, 25.
How many in all? We have 25. Okay. There are 25 teenagers, random teenagers, 5 each of the region here. Okay. So calculator, what is our correction factor? Correction factor. I forgot the square. After getting the sum, don't forget the square, no? Square the sum and then divide it by 25. Okay. So get the sum. You have your calculators with you. And kindly approximate your CF to the nearest two decimal places. Anyone? Mm. Up you.
2,452.20%.
23. 2452.23. Please confirm. Tama ba? Hello?
Sir, 6,733 nakuha ko po.
6,733. Bakit iba-iba kayo? 6,733.84 into two decimal places. Okay, confirm na nga natin. 81.3 plus 82 plus 81.6 plus 81.7 plus 83.7. Sum, square the sum, divided by 25. Okay. 6733.8436. Since terminating naman siya, no, I think it's better if we could use the actual solution, no, instead of rounding it off. 8436. Ayan. Next, step number 2. Where is the total sum of squares? Okay. The total sum of squares, or that is abbreviated into the TSS. TSS, the total sum of squares. By formula, that is simply the summation of all the squared age, okay, the squared age minus the correction factor. Okay, summation of the squared age this time. Okay, kanina, we total the raw ages of the teenagers. This time we'll be using the squared ages, no? Summation of the squared ages. 1322.11 plus 1345.26 plus 1331.98 plus 1335.21 plus 1402.05. Close. And then do not forget to subtract your CF. Okay, subtract the CF. And in this case, that is, oops, that is 6733.8436. 8436. I calcu 2.664.
7664 po.
Please confirm 2.7664. 2.7664. Okay, the summation of x squared minus cf. Check natin yung first example. Paki-confirm, 2 point lang talaga siya. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1322.11 plus 1345.26 plus 1331.98 plus 1335.21 1402.05. Okay. Tama. 6733.8436. We have 2.7664. Next, step number 3. Step number 3. Determine the between sum of squares. Between sum of squares, or that is BSS. Okay, BSS. So all we have to do here is to square the summation of raw ages divided by how many teenagers were involved. Each region. In this case, we have five teenagers each region. Okay, so the summation of their ages, and then square the sum divided by 5 teenagers. Okay, and repeat this process hanggang sa fifth region natin, and afterwards you need to get the summation of all those quotient, then subtract the the sum with the CF, the correction factor. Okay, so gawin natin. That would be BSS. BSS. So we'll need to enclose 81.3 squared over 5. Okay? Doon tayo sa first region, northeast. Plus another region, we have 82 squared divided by 5 teenagers. Next region, we have 81, wait, enclose natin, 81.6 squared divided by 5 teenagers. Next, 81.7 squared divided by 5 students, 5 teenagers. And lastly, sa east side, we have 83.7 squared over 5. And then get the sum of all of this, and do not forget to subtract the correction factor. Okay, the correction factor. Calcu. 6733.8, hindi siya 6. 8436. What would be our between sum of squares?
0.7224.
0.7224. 0.7224. Confirm natin. Ayan. 290 squared over... Okay, tama naman. So let's confirm. We have 81.3 squared over 5. Close natin yan. Close. Plus 82 squared over 5 plus 81.6 squared over 5 plus 81.7 squared. Oy, ano ba yan? Na-space ko siya. Nawala lahat ng input natin. From the start, isa na lang natin, no? And then lastly, 83.7 squared over 5. Okay, summation pa lang ito, no? Medyo malaki. 179,4944.352. May mali ba ako? Ba't medyo malaki ang ating... Ayun, is 1. Yun, 6734.566. Okay, 6734.566. This is the summation pa lang, ha? And we need to subtract that sum by our correction factor. 8436. Okay, and indeed, we got the same 0.7224. Okay, very good. Next, step number 4. Step number 4. After getting the between sum of the squares, we'll now move on to the within. Sum of squares within. Okay, sum of squares within. It's just the difference between the total sum of squares and between sum of squares. Okay? The step number 2 and step number 3. So WSS is equivalent to ESS minus the BSS. In this case, we have 2.7664 minus 0.7224. Okay, what is their difference, class?
2.04 po.
2.044. Am I right?
Yes po.
Yeah. 2.044. So that's it. Okay na. And then, meron pa, no? We have to supply to complete the ANOVA table. So the ANOVA table looks like this. Let me just copy one table here. Yan. Oops. Hmm. Lagay ko siya dito para maayos ko yung kanyang ayun, palakihin lang natin. Okay. So we'll start from determining the degree of freedom. Degree of freedom. So again, k minus 1. K minus 1, where k is actually the number of groups being compared. Okay, k minus 1. K is a number of groups being compared. So what is our degree of freedom ng between groups? We have, guys, okay ko siya dito. Yan. Yan na nga. We have 4. Okay? Since we have 5 groups, 5 regions being compared. Okay? So the degree of freedom ng between groups is 4. Next. Degree of freedom ng within groups. Degree of freedom of the groups within. So based from our solution here or formula here, just have to get the difference between the total number of teenagers minus 1 and the degree of freedom ng between groups. Okay? So that is basically 24 minus 4. Okay, 24 minus 4, or that is 20.
20.
Okay, 20. And degree of freedom ng total, we have n minus 1. That should be 24. The summation. I-add nyo lang yung degree of freedom nung dalawa, no? Which is equivalent to n minus 1. Okay, 25 minus 1 is 24. Or 4 plus 20 is also 24. Okay. Next, sum of the squares. You just have to copy our BSS here. We have 0.7224 WSS within sum of the squares 2.044, or gawin natin consistent, no? By writing it as or in 4 decimal places as well. Then we have natanggal siya. Nag-automatic siya, no? Next, we have the total sum of squares. We have 2.7664. Okay. Next, we have this column. We have the mean of the square. You just have to get the quotient between the BSS and the degree of freedom. The BSS between sum of the squares and the degree of freedom. So what is 0.7224 over 4?
0.1806.
1806. And next, the quotient between the sum of the squares within and the degree of freedom nung within groups.
0.1022.
0.1022. Okay. Lastly, for our F value, get the quotient between 0.1806 and 0.102. And that would be your F value. Ilan? 0.1806 over 0.1022. We have 1.7671. 1.7671. Please confirm, do you get or did you get the same result?
Yes po.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's it. We already have the table. We can now supply for the other values in our hypothesis testing. So again, going back to the significant level of significance, 5% alpha level, and the degree of freedom between groups, we have 4, diba? We have 4. And then degree of freedom within groups, we have
20.
20. Okay, with this informations, we were now able to identify the critical value. The critical value. Do you still have your tables? Where is my critical table? The F table. So, wait lang. On the first row, you can see the degree of freedom between. High degree of freedom between, which in our case we have 4. High we have 4. So magre-rely tayo kay 4. Where's the highlight? And next, we have 20 on the first row. Hanggang 7 lang siya dito. Where are the others? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 20. Here, 20. Okay, and then 5%, no? 5% alpha level of significance. We have degree of freedom 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So this would be our critical value, 2.8 7. Any question?
None, sir.
Ay, nakuha nyo ha. Paano gamitin yung table ha? Again, first row will identify your degree of freedom between groups. And first column naman, you have here the degree of freedom nung within groups. I do not forget that one. So with that, we have 2.87, 2.87. And we found the F value as ano yung F value natin? Here's the one, no? 1.7671. 1.7671. Or in our cases, would be our TV, the test value. Hi, with that, what would be our decision? Guys, what would be our decision? Since what? This would be the line of our decision making, no? How we are supposed to write. Right, ito yung example natin. You just have to compare your TV and the CV, your test value and the critical value. After comparing, then makikita nyo whether you have enough or not enough evidence to support your null hypothesis. And then from there, you can decide whether to fail to reject or reject the null hypothesis. Okay, again, what would be our decision here? How can we write the decision? Since PV, or that is 1.7671, is what? Is it greater than or less than?
Less
Less
than.
than.
Is less than the CV, which is 2.87. We have enough evidence or not enough evidence?
Enough.
Come again? Enough or
Not.
not enough?
Not, sir.
Not enough. Are you sure?
Enough. Enough.
Enough. Okay. Since TV is less than the CV, wait lang. There is enough
Evidence.
evidence to support the
Hypothesis.
null hypothesis. Very good. Hence, accept or fail, tala, reject or fail to reject.
Fail to reject.
Okay, we fail to reject null hypothesis. Okay, with that, we can now write our conclusion. So what would be our conclusion here? Since we fail to reject the null hypothesis, then ano ang ilalagay natin kay conclusion? There is no or there is a significant difference.
There is.
No.
Ano ba? There is or there is no.
There
There
is.
is. There is.
Bakit? Fail to reject, di ba?
There is no pala, sir.
Okay. Hindi nyo nireject yung null. So, you'll be using its statement that there is no significant difference. Or only to use the alternative if you rejected your null. Diba? If the TV is greater than the CV. Okay. So furthermore, what does this no significant difference imply? Na ako maglagay ng furthermore. This implies na kagad. This implies that what is the implication of there is no significant difference in the average age of the teenagers who obtained their driver's license across the country? This implies that. Okay, let's go back with our example last time, ha? So the same, we have actually the same result, no? Less than din siya, not enough evidence, we fail to reject, there is no significant difference. This implies that the color has no significant effect in the amount of learning and in the amount learning of the students. Ayan. There's no significant difference in the amount of learning among the groups. This implies that the color has no significant effect in the amount of learning. Sorry, I forgot. Amount of learning of the students. Ayan. Now, in the context of the driver's license, obtaining the driver's license among the region, what does this no significant difference imply? Anyone? This implies that 301. What's the implication of the null hypothesis? Anyone? This implies that hey, 301. Does it matter kung saang region sila nakatira?
No po.
So how can we put that into words? This implies that
They can obtain whenever they have.
this implies that okay, I got your point naman. They can obtain approximately the same average age, no, wherever sila nakatirang region. Okay, but we have to write this in uh statistics way, no? Okay, so this implies that their let me use the same statement as we used before. The color has no significant effect, no? So in this case, the region. This implies that the region where the teenagers live has no significant effect on what? This implies that the region where the teenagers live has no significant effect on the average age they obtained
Driver's license.
their driver's license. Ayan. So conclusion, there's no significant difference in the average age of the teenagers who obtain their driver's license across the country. This implies that the region where the teenagers live has no significant effect on the average age they obtained their driver's license. Okay? Or in general, the effect on the age they obtained their driver's license. Okay? Any question?